Hey everybody, welcome to Wackadoo Unhinged. This is episode number 24. I'm your host, Steve Fuller with Wackadoo Brewing. And as always, I'm here with my guest host, Dennis, and the Brew Squatch, a.k.a. Sean. And today our special guest is Chrissi. Chrissi, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, it's a real pleasure. You are one of the most interesting ones I think we're going to have on the podcast, maybe not for what you're doing, but the way we've got you on the show. So you run a gaming group that we're going to get into that is here every Monday night at the brewery. And you guys came in. You've been doing this for 5-6 weeks now, at least?
I want to say, yep.
Yeah, something like that. And we were doing all this, and everything was going great. And then I was like, wait, why don't we have you on the podcast?
Absolutely.
That way people can get to know who you are and what you guys are about. So it's called Cosmo Events, and why don't you tell us a little bit about what Cosmo Events is and why you're doing it?
Sure thing. Yeah, so Cosmo Events is kind of like a shortened version of Colorado Springs mixers and outings. So we're basically going to reach out to people who work from home, reach out to people who are transplants to the area, military, anything like that. Anybody looking to make some new friends or get out of the house more often, we're trying to create like a space for that. So far, we've done a lot of breweries, like being here, doing the board games. We've also done a lot of outdoor activities, some hiking. We've done ice castles, really random stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool. And when you first came in about the idea, I thought that was super cool because we had another group here several months back that tried to do something similar, but they... it just didn't seem to quite catch on, the way they were doing it. They're like, oh, we've got 10,000 people on our Discord channel, and all these people are going to love coming out here. And then like 3 or 4 people would come, and
wow.
There was no real advertising for it. They didn't really push it out. I mean, it's great that you got 10,000 people on a Discord channel, but how many of those are going to come out in public and in real world?
How many of those are real people?
Yeah,
Definitely.
right. And I mean, you definitely hit a niche too that's very important, and a lot of people don't think about. Is everybody who's here, they've got their friend group, they've got their things they do, and you brought the people that don't get out much or maybe are a little awkward with those first meetings, and you turned it into an easy exchange, if you will. Like I've seen people come in and you're just like, hey, come on over. Here's the games we're playing tonight. Here's what we got going on. Let me put you with a group. And I think that really helped to take some of the edge off of people that may not be so outgoing, to be able to give them, you're helping them make friends.
As someone that has real social anxiety, it's easier to be put into a group than to try and find one.
Right, absolutely.
Sitting down with a group on your own accord versus somebody saying, hey, come sit here. That helps a lot.
The mental scourge that comes with, do they want another person, or do they already know it? Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of like act like the sorting hat.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Nice.
I'm really lucky that a lot of my friends were interested in helping me out with this. We've got some people watching, some of my best friends, but I have a lot of people from work and things showing up to this. So I can really easily say like, oh, you're interested in this kind of game? So are these 2 people that I know, and connect people with interests and stuff. So
that's really cool. I remember one game from a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was 3 weeks ago. It was a zombie survival card game, board game mix.
yes, that was Dead of Winter.
There
yes.
you go.
So Dead of Winter, Dead of Winter actually ended up taking, I want to say 3 hours total after everybody was said and done. That one is a bit too much for me.
There was a lot to that one.
There is a lot to that one, and that's something great about Cosmo coming out here for board games is that there's people who want to play Uno, and there's people who want to play 3-hour-long board games, and you can find your spot in that. And we like to have these little cards up that say either looking for extra players or I'm in middle of something, don't disrupt me right now. So it kind of fits in. It's really easy to find your place.
Yeah, that is such a polite way of saying it's our game.
Yes.
I choose violence. Let's break out the Monopoly board.
Right. Oh, God. That or Risk. I don't think I've ever seen a game end. Usually the board is flipped before.
I've never played Risk.
Yeah. Oh.
You've never played Risk?
No.
No, that was like an old family
I have
tradition
had
of mine.
several people threaten to teach me, but nobody's gone through with it.
Yeah, we have Lord of the Rings Risk and Star Wars Risk.
See, Star Wars Risk. That sounds like fun.
Or you have this whole Order 66 thing, like with the little Senator Palpatine figure that is going up the board as the turns go by. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, those 2 games never end well.
Yeah.
You're no longer friends after that's over.
Yeah, no, that's another game like with chess and Risk. I have never beaten my uncle at it. He is just, his brain is just like this computer, and he just decimates everyone at it. It's like, oh, cool, you're playing. Well, you're gonna win in about an hour and a half. So cool.
Yeah, this will be fun
Let's
for a
check
little
out.
while, and then I'm just gonna cry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so you also have some of the card games that I've seen out there, and it's so unique, you know, seeing, you think like, okay, board games, you can name like maybe 10 off the top of your head. But every game you've brought, I've never seen before, you know, and I think that also adds some flavor to it, you know, the fact that you can have so many different things each time you do the event, you know.
Absolutely. We in our Discord, somebody just put out there, everybody take a picture of your shelfie. I've never heard of this. It's a shelf of board games. Just take a selfie of your board game shelf.
Right.
And I was seeing everybody, and it's just not just me that has this long list of games nobody's ever heard of, but then everybody has a shelf of games I've never heard of either. So it was really cool.
Obscure gaming.
Yes.
Oh right, yeah. My wife has the X-Men board game from like the early '90s.
X-Men board game.
Yeah, with like the original characters and shit.
I didn't know there was a
Yeah.
Yeah. board game.
Yeah, no.
How does that work?
Yeah, I was gonna,
I don't know how to play it. We haven't actually played it. I think it is missing some pieces, so that's a bit of an issue. But
that can hinder the gameplay.
I want to find one of the original Jumanji game boards.
Yeah.
I had one of those.
so you can get sucked into it and become the movie.
Right.
There you go. What year is it? What? I mean, you already looked the part. It was,
Exactly. Imagine what I'd look like after, what was it, 30 years in a game board?
I thought you were gonna say in a loincloths, but
oh God. No, I don't think the health department would allow that.
well, not here.
So, what other kind of card games have you guys been playing? 'Cause
There's one that we've been getting really into called Flip 7. It's kind of like gambling. So like you get a card and then you can't duplicate that card, and the chances of each card are random kind of. It's really fun to do that one, but Cosmo is even bigger than just the board game nights. Recently we competed in the coffin racing. Have you guys heard of this?
Right, out in Manitou?
Yes.
Yeah, so we did ours up in Estes Park. Manitou has wheels on their coffins. We had to fully carry our friend Aaron in a
God.
coffin through an obstacle course. And that was so much fun.
Oh my God. Boy Scout flashbacks.
So now we have a coffin with somebody in it
Yes.
and an obstacle course on top of that.
Yes. And the person gets out, that our corpse, if you will, got out and did some like little challenges, gets back in. We all run with the body, keep going.
So it's like open top, or do you like have to nail them in?
Open top.
Ah.
Yep.
That'd be a little creepy.
Yeah, you have to carry tools like a pry bar and shit.
Keep letting them back out so you can do the challenges. Oh man.
that's cool.
So like Estes Park. That's like what, 3 hours?
I want
2?
to say it was 3 hours. Yeah, we stayed up there, the Stanley Hotel. It's a.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
What is that movie there?
The Shining.
Shining.
The Shining.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
We watched
that's
The
creepy.
Shining in the hotel.
Oh, there you go. Of
Nice.
course. And isn't that the one that doesn't have the number 23 or whatever that room number is?
I think it's a common thing. No
most
hotels
hotels-
don't have a 13th floor.
13th floor. That's what
That's
it is.
a lot of
those-
buildings too, not just hotels.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just weird. But yeah, whatever room number it was from the movie, I don't remember the whole deal with it, but there was something about they don't have that room number because people would want to stay there, or people kept
They
stealing
changed
it.
the room numbers.
Yeah, they changed it.
I want to say it's. I don't know why. I want to say it's 23.
Yeah, I don't. That number keeps
my
sticking in my
aunt
head.
stopped there on a vacation one time, and they have the little souvenir skeleton keys for doors, and I'm pretty sure the number on it was 23.
Yeah, that
So
sounds right.
that might be it.
I don't know.
I know there's one of the
somebody
rooms.
can correct us in the comments, I'm sure, but yeah,
I know there's one of the rooms. It's believed to be haunted by a female prostitute. It's like, I'll take that room. Okay, just for shits and giggles,
yeah, because that's who you want to be haunted by.
right?
So, good God. So outside of that, like, what else do you said you're talking about like hikes and things like that too. So it's pretty much just any activity, getting people out of their house, getting to meet other people,
Yeah.
you know, in a friendly, safe-ish environment. Yeah.
Yes, I have kind of a
Safe-ish.
passion. I have a passion for bringing communities together. I've always been this way. I was like always starting up clubs and doing things, bringing people together, getting people off their phone, introducing friends. It's totally my jam. So, upcoming one that we've got is a trail cleanup for Earth Day.
Oh, it's
In
awesome.
about 2 Saturdays, we'll be going out to one of the local trails, working with Colorado Springs, Rex and Creation
Nice.
and Park. Yeah, looking forward to that.
That's really good. Outreach on top of all that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's really commendable.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I'm so glad you guys started coming in. You know, it livened up our Mondays. You know, and,
Oh, yeah.
and it's
Coming
always
in last night.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we came back in off our motorcycle ride, and it was so cool to see so many people in here and everybody having a good time.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I typically avoid coming in here on Monday nights because that's the one night of the week that I don't have to be here. But so last time I was in here on a Monday night, it was, crickets. And then coming in here last night, it was, holy crap.
Yeah. It's been really good. And just
everybody having a blast.
You know, the funny thing is, you said it, and it never really dawned on me until I started thinking back to last night. I don't think I saw anybody on their phone. Your entire group was all interacting with each other. They were all playing games. Nobody was sitting there on their phone. You know, you see that in so many places now. We've become so addicted to cell phones, and everybody's got to constantly be checking it every 5 minutes, you know. And that's really cool to see the looking each other in the eyes, doing something together.
It's going away so fast. Yeah, there needs to be places and people emphasizing the need for getting off the phones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so what about you? Why are you doing this?
Well, I did move here, across the country with just, brought a boy with me and my dog in a car. And I would have loved to have this when I moved here. When I got here, it was really hard to make friends. I got a job. They moved me here. So then they made me work from home. That makes sense, right? They moved me across the country to work from home.
Yeah, like I could have been
sure.
doing this, back there. Yeah.
I'm guessing 2020.
Yeah, around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got here, and I know I enjoy the activities, but it's kind of intimidating to move to Colorado and then want to be the Colorado girl, if you will.
Yeah.
Want to go on the adventures, but not know anybody here. Know the right places to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. Like I said, social anxiety, I'm antisocial in general. The only reason I have friends is because of him. He's the extrovert. I'm the introvert that he's just kind of dragging, screaming along the way.
I'm just really good at pretending. I actually don't like people in general, yet I own a brewery. I'm running for Congress. I do all these different events. That's the deep down secret that nobody knows. I don't like people.
Interesting.
So it's forced friendship on both sides.
Yes.
You're just doing it to yourself and him.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Stockholm syndrome at this point.
Yeah.
No, I love it here.
It's so great. All right, blink twice if you need help. But it's funny, like, I don't know, I guess I'm both. I've never really tried to classify myself as like an introvert or extrovert, but I know I need time to recharge in between. That's the hard part for some people to understand. People come in the door, I'm happy, excited to see them, and I genuinely am, because they're coming into the brewery, they're enjoying what we do here, and I love that. But the more people you see in the room, the more often you'll see me go outside for a minute or going back for a minute, because I need to recharge. I can't just steadily, like, I've met people that are just happy and bubbly and can go around and meet 100 people and they're super excited to do it. I am not.
Yeah.
I have a window.
Yeah, the social battery is real. And it's killed most of the relationships I've been with because so many people don't understand that I love you to death. You're still a person.
Yes.
I
need
still
to be
need
alone.
to be away.
Yes.
I need to get away even from you now and then.
Yes. That is the hard thing for people to understand. And some of them will take offense to it. Like some of the women I've dated. They don't get it. And I'm like, no, I need to be alone. I love being around you. I love spending time with you. I'm like, me too. However, there is a moment I need to step away and get like an hour or two to.
It is not my choice. It is just being in the presence of another human being.
Yes.
I've also had
It
that
doesn't work
question
right
too. The whole, what are you doing when you're alone? Fucking nothing.
Nothing. Literally.
There have been times I will literally stare at a wall for an hour and a half and
Yep.
just enjoy the quiet.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, most mornings when I get here in the brewery early, I get everything set up, and then I've got like an hour window where usually I'm just walking around the room, or I'm in back looking at the equipment and just not thinking about anything. You know, or when people look at me like, "What are you thinking about right now?" Nothing. Men can really do that.
I'm
We
trying to
can-
quiet my mind.
Yes.
Can't imagine.
Yeah. There's so many people, like, they swear you must be thinking about something. They're like, I see the wheels turning. No, it's at a dead stop right now. You know, I'm trying not to. Actively do it.
That's just because the wheel's well lubricated.
Yeah, it
you
just-
know,
it
the
just kinda
hamster
rolls out, yeah.
stopped.
Yeah,
it's
and
just
then the wheels just-
momentum
yeah.
keeping it going at this point.
Exactly. You know? But I mean, there are times, especially like with the board games or with card games, or like, you know, we play D&D.
Yeah.
It's nice because
It makes it a lot easier.
it's not demanding per se. It's like nothing is a critical, I have to be thinking about this, or I have to be doing this. It's something else. You're letting your mind coast for a while you enjoy whatever game you're playing.
I want whatever you have.
Right?
Whatever they put you on, I want that. I cannot do that.
Yeah, I have to.
Well,
I
you're
have to-
drinking it right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I've forced myself to that point because I used to overthink everything and overstress everything, and now here, at our craziest moment, like up in the back, if I'm cooking during one of these big events, I mean, I'm knocking out 17, 20 meals, and I'm smiling. I'm like, you guys see it on Monday night where Corey's like, I don't know how you keep turning out food that fast, and I'm like, because I get into that rhythm, and I'm like, I love to work, I love to do things. But I also like times where I'm not doing anything. I have to have that healthy balance. You know?
Yeah, and then we all hit that point where it's like we come out, we're delivering food, happy, smiles, and then you go back in the kitchen, it's just, it's just gotta go, gotta move fast,
Yeah.
smile,
Let's go faster.
gotta go fast, gotta go fast.
But, you know, and that's why I really love some of these games. And there have been a couple of times where I've just sat there and watched you guys play. And that to me was cool, you know, getting to watch and see something new, you know.
Totally. I remember we had like a social deception game. We were like, we should fill the whole
Yes.
place with people. I still want to like set out an event for that because that would be so cool.
Oh, yeah. Or like we were joking around about a giant Guess Who. I thought that would be great. If we could get like 40 people in here and just get a quick photo of everybody.
Talking about like a Clue or
all we
Among Us type
need.
thing.
No, the Guess Who, where you have to just figure out who the.
I
you're
did the
trying to figure out
math.
who the
We
other
need
person
pictures
has.
of 24 people.
I
Yeah.
think I played that game like one time maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so Guess Who, you both have the same like 20 or 24 pictures of somebody, and you get a card, and you're trying to guess what the other person's card is, who the person is. So you're like,
Gotcha.
is this person wearing a hat? Flip down everybody
Right.
who's not wearing a hat. Things like that.
Gotcha.
But I want to do it like full scale with like real people. We're all sitting in here, have a beer, and one person from either team has a card, and the other team's trying to just figure out who it is. And then once they guess you can sit down and drink your beer, and everybody else has to keep standing and just. I just thought it'd be funny, you know?
Yeah.
Sure.
I've seen
Yeah.
those where it's not appearance based. It's like you assume their personality based on their picture, and it's like my person is not a Karen, and then you're flipping down all the people.
Oh my God! Yeah, this is not a beer snob. It's somebody with
Oh,
the floppy
that adds a
hat
level
with
of
glasses.
complexity because that's subjective.
Yeah.
The subjective. Guess who is really fun.
Or giant chess. I want to do a chess set in here one night. We just like everybody. We'll just like mark off the squares on the floor, move out all the tables, and have everybody will stand up and play a chess game.
You have a 3D printer that big?
Okay.
No, I wish.
Fun little social game we played when I was in the Scouts. It's called Serial
so
Killer.
long.
So
Scoutmaster Kevin.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming. So Scoutmaster picks one kid, nobody knows who, to be the killer. As you're on your events, campouts, whatever, you wink at somebody and they got to act out this big elaborate death, and everybody else has to figure out who the killer is. And like it gets elaborate. Like they've been at like national award ceremonies, and somebody's just dropping on stage.
Oh.
Oh, we do that with here, like with a murder mystery night.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody comes
That's
in. you
kind
give
of what
them
I was thinking.
You give them their little card for whatever they're supposed to be, and then one person's a killer going in.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Do it like you know, 2 taps on the shoulder.
Yeah, and you just got
gotta
killed.
act.
Yeah.
You know, you have like a 10-second window, or I think the rule was if it was in private when nobody else was around.
Yeah.
You had to do it while everybody was around, and you had like 30 minutes to do it. So, anyways,
Yeah.
wouldn't be an issue here, but these games would go on for weeks. 6.
Oh yeah, well, we're not doing that. But
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
But if we did like a 3-hour session in one night, and
Yeah.
just everybody coming in and having a good time, and then trying to figure out who the killer is.
You know, if more than half of the innocents are still alive, the killer loses.
Yeah.
Or if they catch him.
Yeah. You got to kill at least half the guests before anybody figures out who you are.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put that together.
Yeah, we'll talk after this.
Yep. There you go. Done. Yeah.
There we go. Something I learned in Scouts helped me out.
Yeah, nice. I did stuff like building fires and camping and shit.
I know, right? God.
Well, I mean, there was that, but
No, that's pretty cool. And we never did anything like that in
Yeah.
our Packer
Yeah,
trip.
he's just teaching a future serial killer. Yeah.
Well, it's not exactly the method, though, because, I mean, there's all
I mean,
that.
how to kill people in a room full of people without anybody
By
realizing it's
winking
you.
at them?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just walk by with a little needle and inject them. It's the same concept. Right?
Yeah, when was the last time you were jabbed with a needle and didn't notice?
Yeah.
Well, there was that concert a few years back.
I mean, right? Well, we had that when I was
Bullshit, you were asking for it.
yeah, I was barbacking at a place down in Texas early on in my military career, and there was a guy, and it took a couple of months for the cops to catch him because the club was like 200 or 300 people, and it was packed in tight every night. The place was awesome, but there was a guy going around who had HIV and was going around injecting people, and nobody caught him for like 2 or 3 months. And we're talking, he had like 40 victims.
Jeez.
The purpose.
Just because you're a disgusting human being.
I think at that point that's
Different weapon,
that's
different delivery
biological
system.
terrorism.
well, I mean,
Like-
back then we didn't slap terrorism on everything that happened.
But I mean, legitimately, that's you no longer have rights. Go straight to Gitmo.
Yeah, no, but I mean, yeah, the guy took like 2 or 3 months to get caught. Well, because for
That's
a long
more
time people.
serial killer than terrorist, because
But I
terrorist
mean,
is politically
when you're walking by
motivated.
in a big crowded place and everybody's drinking
fair.
really heavy, and somebody just like you feel a little pinch on your arm, you don't think about it.
Well, especially
Yeah.
if you have like a 28 gauge needle.
Yeah.
Right. That's nothing.
Yeah, I mean when you.
I think that's less than like an insulin needle, and those are super fucking tiny.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways, enough of that creepy shit.
That got a little dark.
We can keep going.
Okay, we could play like a giant game of Clue. You know, Clue is always a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the one I've played.
Okay.
Is Clue.
Yeah.
But isn't Clue essentially murder mystery
Yes.
board game?
Yeah, that's
exactly
literally
what
what
it
it is.
is.
Yeah, but I mean, it was Sean in the brewery area with the fucking mallet, you know, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
but that's what I'm saying. It's already a thing. It's called a murder mystery dinner.
yeah, yes. Except
They got
that's
it
just
from the
that's
game,
usually
though.
just like one killer or two, you know, or two people get killed. But what you're talking about, I think it'd be a lot more fun with like how many people can you kill
Yeah.
before they
Yeah.
find you out. You know, that'd be good. And if it's early in the game, we could always reset it and have somebody else be the killer, you know, or something like that. But if the guy's made it like an hour and a half in, this is a good night.
Yeah.
That's a fun game. Yeah.
Or you find out the killer has also been murdered.
That would be hilarious. Oh, yeah, or the other way around. Yeah, like there's two murderers and they're trying to kill each other, but nobody knows who's who. That would add some twist.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
A
Yeah,
lot of ways you can go with that.
Yeah.
because then it's two murderers against each other and everybody else is just stuck in the middle.
Yep.
And you don't know who's who and what's what.
And then killer has to keep their body count in mind.
Right? Because you want to get enough kills, but because if you make it to the end of the night, then whichever killer has more kills wins.
Yeah.
But you're also still trying to kill the
Just-
killer.
Just like halfway
Kill the
through the
killer or
night.
catch the killer?
Hey,
Kill
is,
him.
Okay.
is anybody alive? Two people raise their hand.
You're like, oh, it's you guys.
You guys worked together, didn't you?
Well, see, there you go. If there's two killers and they make it to the end of the night, then it's whoever killed more people without getting caught wins.
Or
but if there's
cage match.
Okay, cage match. Or at the end of it, you know, if
We
one
don't
of them
have
got.
strong enough waivers for that.
So then it comes down to: do you want to
I can find a waiver
not
that's
kill
strong
as
enough
many
for that.
people, so there's less chance of you getting caught? But then what happens if the other guy makes it to the end of the night too, and then he wins because he killed more
Yeah.
people? Or are you trying to kill the killer, or the civilians are trying to figure out who's who? So then it comes on to like a three-way game. All the civilians trying to figure out who the killer is, and the two killers trying to kill more people or kill each other. Now we're adding plot twists to this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, didn't expect that to turn into a rabbit hole.
M. Night Shyamalan here now. What a twist.
One of the games that we play is Werewolf, where there's essentially either one or two killers in it, and they're hiding from everyone, and everyone has a special role. Like, this person can see if the person next to them did something last night, and this person can ask if this is a werewolf or not. My favorite thing to do as a moderator, and you can only really do this once per, like, friend group, but put no killers, and then they just slowly do a witch hunt of killing each other off, thinking that
I
the
love
werewolves are around.
So there wasn't a
Hi,
killer.
Satan. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, that's really messed up because at the end of the night, then you're like, there was no killer, but we just killed like half the. Oh my God, we're killers.
Hey.
We're reenacting the Dark Ages. Oh, God.
Well, I was about to say you just reenacted the Salem witch trials.
Right.
Yep.
Burn her.
Tell people there's a boogeyman and they will kill each other trying to find it.
Right. That would be great if we did that too. That could be just one of the random nights if we do this more than once.
That's like
one
an
night,
MK Ultra social experiment. You
Yeah.
realize that, right?
Yeah, that would be great. And one of the nights after
old population
people
control.
have done it a few times, so they know kind of what to expect from the night. And then one night you just have no killers, and everybody all night long is like, "There's the killer." And you're like, "No, this,
If you're listening, you're not invited.
right? Shh, no cheating."
Well, even if they're listening, they're never going to know what night it is that it
Right?
happens.
Yeah. That'd be
Because,
great.
I mean, the first time they show up and like, hey, it's possible nobody's the killer, instant suspicion.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
And no one's a killer. Everyone's the killer. They hand out another thing with like everybody's a killer.
Oh, my God.
First 5 minutes of the game, everybody's tapping each other on the shoulders. Just watch everybody drop, and they're like, it's like, oh,
That'll be a really quick game. It's like, all right, now to the real game. We were just fucking
Five
Yeah.
minutes later, one person is still standing, and it's the only person in the room who's an innocent.
right? That got out of hand. Okay. All right, let's go back to Chutes and Ladders. No, enough about killing everybody in the tap room. Jesus. Yeah, but I
be
mean,
known as the Murder Brewery.
you know. Did you know? Shout
The
out
Muffin
to
Man?
wow. Shout out to another brewery. We went to a brewery on Sunday. We went to Cogstone. For anybody who doesn't know, Cogstone is here in Colorado Springs, and they have an amazing chips and salsa beer. By the way, that is like their one-trick pony to me. Like I've had a lot of their beers, and I'm like, okay, these are all right. And then chips and salsa just like sticks with you because it tastes just like chips and salsa. Like we took Josh with us, and I was like, hey man, we're gonna get the chips and salsa, and he was like, oh cool, you're hungry? And like they brought me the beer, and and he was like, bro, where's your chips? And I was like, no, it's the beer. The beer tastes like chips and salsa. You ask anybody in this state, they will not remember Cogstone's name, but they will know that beer. Everybody does. Everybody knows that beer. And somebody walks in the door like, I had this crazy beer at this one place. Yeah, no, it is. But I did not know right next to them was a one of those escape rooms, which I also thought was really cool. And I don't know how we could.
Eventually, we need to do a brewery escape room.
That's exactly where my mind is going right now. I don't know how we could set it up, but
I was just talking about the employees doing one.
oh yeah, no, we could do that. But that would just be a whole lot of me yelling at everybody. I mean, it's kind of like working here. I mean,
At some point, I just get pissed off and go through the door.
yeah.
It's an escape room, but you tape his mouth shut.
If we could do something like not an escape room, but like a puzzle night at the brewery, where we set up like little boxes with hidden keys or combination locks, and then throughout the night people have to figure out the different things. Like we can like hide little random clues around the room. You know, I was thinking about that. If we could set up, you know, just like a fun puzzle night. I guess puzzle night would be the best way to call it then.
So there's some kind of box with a padlock on it, combination lock on the bar. Have little notes stashed throughout the brewery. The first one is given.
Yeah.
And over the course of the night, each one has a number and a riddle for the next number.
Yeah. And we have like a final combination lock, and you open up the combination lock to get the key that gets you your prize. Or, you know, but I mean, I want to do it so it's like all over the room. And if we cleared out, except for the brewery itself, but all of this square area too, we could add that as a second
I just had a
area that they can't unlock
A next
until they've
level
unlocked
version of
something
this
else
idea.
here. All right.
make this into like a poker run.
Huh?
Yeah, but here.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, we can
Oh.
do that here, but do a poker run style ride where you got to solve the riddle to get to the next brewery to get the next.
See, we talked about something like that at the at Indian.
And then you can have so many breweries involved. Each team's going to go to 3-4 breweries.
Yeah.
But they're going to be different breweries.
See, that's good. I know we could probably get Storybook on board, And if any of the other breweries watching, if you want to jump in on this, we were talking about doing a poker run, but we could do something like this with the combination locks. Like you have to figure out the thing to get to the next location. At the next location, we do like a 4-digit punch code that opens up and they get the next thing, and then that way it's easy to reset at the bar. You know? And then tell people like it'll be like 4 different bars, and then you come back here for your final prize. If you were able to collect and figure out whatever the clues are,
Well,
bring it
see,
back. Like a treasure hunt, except for breweries.
What I was thinking is you show up to the brewery, you say, hey, I'm with the Wackadoo run. Mm-hmm. They hand you the envelope. It has one number for the combination.
Yep.
And then it has a riddle. You have to solve the riddle to know where the next brewery is.
Nice. I like that.
And then you show up at the next brewery. Hey, I'm with the Wackadoo run. What the hell are you talking about?
Right. Went to the wrong, went to the wrong
I
one.
need to rethink this riddle.
Yeah. But if we did that with like 4 or 5 breweries,
Yeah.
and gave it like a full day, you know, like start at 11 in the morning.
As long as we have an even number of breweries,
Yeah.
as many breweries as want to get in on this, we just have that many different teams.
Absolutely. That's a good idea. Yeah. I do. I like that. And each one of us has our own clue for.
2 ideas in one day for the Brew Squash.
Look at you. Now, are you writing any of this down? Because I'm not
It's
going to.
recorded.
Oh. Yeah. Technology. Good point. Okay, so
There we go. That's the title of this episode. Brew Squatch has an idea.
Oof. That could either blow up or there'll be like one. We were huge in Sheboygan. It was some like no-name band that nobody had ever heard of. I think it was with Chevy Chase and they were at an airport and they were all like a polka band. And the lady's like,
Home Alone.
Yeah. Oh God, was it Home Alone?
Alone. It
Then
was
it's
John
really,
Candy.
Yeah, it was really embarrassing. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, when they're asking him about it, and
We're
he's
huge
like,
in Sheboygan.
"We're huge in
Yep.
Sheboygan."
We just showed our age.
Oh God, and how bad my mind works because I put the wrong actor, the wrong movie, the wrong.
And then I still got it.
I know that's what's even. That's how long we've been friends. That he can figure from that
I speak,
convoluted
Steven.
from that convoluted crap. He got
Decipher this inane ramblings.
Or I think at this point it's I speak brain damage.
yeah. Yeah, between the TBIs and everything else. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying not just you, with all the other guys hang around with.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I
Yeah.
said TBIs and stuff. Yeah, you speak brain damage.
What era did you guys meet each other in? What was going on in lives?
I owned a blacksmithing company down in Kentucky, and I was a semi-pro steel fighter. And he saw something online and wandered into my shop one day, and we've been friends ever since.
So I watched the first episode in Forged in Fire, and the winner of that episode was this little Filipino fella, and his forge was a cast iron Dutch oven, a hair dryer, and some dryer duct. And he won the episode with that. So I'm like, and I'm a nerd, history nerd. I've had an interest in blacksmithing since I was a kid. So I saw that and I was like, I can do that. So I started looking around on Facebook to see if there were any, blacksmiths in the area. And I got contacted by one guy down in LJ, gave me a piece of railroad track as an anvil, and then he hit me up, and he lived like 2 miles from my mom's house. So yeah, started hanging out with him, and day one he tells me about the steel fighting, and so forgot about blacksmithing for the next half hour. And so yeah, it sucked me in.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great story.
Yeah, and then I moved up here about 9 years ago, 10 years ago, somewhere in there now. And shortly after, he followed along. And
Within 3 months?
yeah, I was like, this place is amazing. You'll love it. And he was like, okay.
Well, when you first moved up, I made the joke, take me with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 weeks later, you said, hey, I can have a job and a place to crash lined up.
Yep. And
That's all it takes.
that's it.
Fuck it, we ball.
And we've been having a ton of fun ever since. We did a few other odd and end jobs and stuff like that, and I got into brewing, and here we are 6 years later. This place is up and running, and yeah, it's been crazy. But yeah, it's always been you know, like a yin and yang thing with me and him, because I'm sporadic. I'm all over the place. I'm nuts, and as sad as it is, he's the sane one in the group. You know,
I'm the one that's like, okay, cool idea, but let's slow down and plan it out.
yep.
Once I get him to slow down and plan something out, then he's golden.
Yeah, it's like Hannibal from A-Team. You know, you give me a couple hours, it'd be a good plan. You give me a day, it's an amazing plan. If you give me a week, I'm unstoppable. And just that's how all of this works.
So, do you love it when a plan comes together?
I do. I just don't do cigars. That's
And
like
then
a once a year.
I'm Mr. T. I'm the dumb muscle. Point me in a direction, and I'll figure it out.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of people still can't believe that me and him put all 4 of those fermenters in the corner. Those fermenters are 800 to 1,000 pounds a piece.
Something like that.
And me and him muscled them into where they are. So,
Using the crack in the floor to get him to stand up.
yeah, that was the sketch part. So
I'm still proud that I used a
boom forklift
boom lift
to get through
him
that door.
through the door.
So the forklift wouldn't fit through the door, but he was able to up and very, very carefully angle, because those doors are not very tall either. The fermenters, when they stand up, they're taller than those doors.
And to toot my own horn, it's another level of difficulty when there's 3 other people standing near you telling you how to do.
Oh, God, yeah.
And if they're
Different
telling you
instructions.
everything
Oh,
wrong.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Like, guys, shut
the
fuck
level
up.
of experts that were trying to help him when none of them have ever touched a forklift
One
in
of
their
them
life.
was a marine truck driver that didn't know how to use ratchet straps.
Oh,
That was
God.
great. Somebody, that was their profession.
They told me
and
that,
were worse
and
than me.
I turned around and lit a cigarette. I couldn't continue speaking without being sarcastic.
I thought that was just kind of ingrained in every dude's brain, of just like it's just easy, just like comes
No.
natural.
I am probably the worst ratchet strapping human being on earth.
Can tie a knot like nobody's business.
Oh,
The
yeah,
number of ratchet straps I found tied in knots.
Yeah, I can tie you 100 different knots. I can tie anything any way you want it, but a ratchet strap, my
doesn't make
brain
sense.
will not. I can do complex trigonomic formulas. I cannot operate a ratchet strap.
Jeez.
It's I don't know what it is. My brain sees a ratchet strap and goes, nope.
And not even the fact that it should be, yes, it's hardwired into most guys' brains, yes, but a truck driver in the Marines, it is part of the CDL licensing exam, even for a Class B, to understand how to strap down a vehicle.
Yeah, and he showed me a dozen times, and I just keep apologizing to him. I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. This will not take it. Nope. So. So if you ever come up with some kind of game that requires ratchet straps, I'm just gonna say I lose and walk away. I'm
Yeah.
done.
So it's like, hey, that's kind of a philosophical point. That is what started me on the path of never assume something you know is common knowledge.
Yes. Oh, I've had that with a lot of things in back.
Yeah.
You know, the way the valves work, the way the hoses work, and you just assume anybody will know if the valve is pointing down the length of the hose, it's open.
I'm not gonna lie, I was one of the ones that had never put that one together.
Yep, I know.
I blame lead exposure as a child.
Just about everyone who I've ever taught how to brew back there blows their mind. That depending on which way the handle is facing.
What's even funnier is it
I
doesn't
learned that
just
from
work
gas
with
valves
liquids.
From my dad.
Same way.
I
Yeah,
was a kid.
gas valves, water valves
Even most electrical switches.
Yeah.
go towards the yeah. Just some
Like
people-
I had to sit down and put my head between my legs for a minute when he told me that one. It's like, oh my god.
Oh, well, it's like when my ex-wife, when I explained to her that about the highway numbering system, that, odd numbers go across the country, even numbers go up and down, or the other way around. I'm sorry. Yeah, the other way around. But anyways, I explained that to her, and she was like, what? Like, it broke her brain. I was like, yes. So odd numbers go north and south. Even numbers go east and west. Every road in America.
Yeah.
Well, interstate.
Yeah, every interstate. Yeah, like First and Second Street doesn't work that way all the time.
Yeah, or county highways and shit.
Yeah, but any major roadway, yeah, that's how it works. Odd numbers go up and down, even numbers go across. Yep. That's why Highway 10, straight across the country.
Yep. Jacksonville
I-25,
to
north and
LA.
south.
There's going to be an even split of people that are calling us stupid for never having realized some of this stuff, and that are like equally as mind blown.
All right, no, there's going to be somebody's going to watch this, and they're going to be mad as shit. They're going to Google it and look and be like, how did I not know that? See, how old were you when you realized that the number system goes up?
I'm the son of an over-the-road trucker, and I didn't know that.
Right? That's all right, because somebody got me earlier today. They were joking around about, is it called Louisville or Louisville for Kentucky? And then he was like, well, which way do you call the capital? And I was like, it's Louisville. And he's like, actually, the capital's not Louisville. And I was like, damn it. You got me.
I've gotten a few people with that one.
It's Frankfurt. Why is it Frankfurt? Nobody knows Frankfurt.
The reason it's
Weird.
Frankfurt is because typically the largest city in a state is made the capital.
Yep.
Well, at the
Houston.
time, Lexington, Louisville, and Frankfurt were all of about equal size. Lexington and Louisville were sitting there going back and forth. I should be the capital. I should be the capital. So eventually, the powers that be just said, "Screw it. You've been quiet. It's Frankfurt."
We're tired of the bitching.
Right?
Yeah.
You two are just going to keep fighting about it. He didn't say a word. Okay, you're in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
No,
and it's
Texas
actually
has
quite
changed
pretty,
like 3
at least
times.
when I was there in elementary
Well,
school.
also Texas used to be
In the
its own
90s.
country.
What? Yes.
So
Yes.
Yeah.
I understand that.
there's
part.
a lot to unpack about Texas history. So,
So
there's
the-
there's even was it the original Red Dawn in the '80s where I forget her name, but the actress, she was asking this one guy. It's like, hey, what's if you're not a spy, what's the capital of Texas? He's like, it's Austin. Like, bullshit, it's Houston.
Depends on when you
And
were
it
there.
also depends on the perspective and what
I thought
time
it was
period.
Dallas.
What? No, it's Austin.
Oh God, no! It's never been Dallas. No.
Yeah. Also, Austin is it's definitely pretty old. It's very tightly packed together, very dense.
Fun fact about Red Dawn, you might have heard this one.
It didn't really happen.
No, when they were filming it, because this was during the Cold War.
Yes.
You couldn't exactly get Russian weapons and equipment like you could today.
Uh huh.
They had to go off of vague, fuzzy pictures and build it themselves. Somebody actually called into the government, reported it, and the CIA came out and was questioning them on how they got it that accurate and how they were able to do that.
So you do know there are
Because they
other
were like-
countries other than Russia that make those exact same weapons, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, at this point you couldn't get it in the U.S. They had to.
Yeah, but like Romanian, Bulgarian,
Yeah.
Yugoslavian.
But
Anything
they
with an
had
N in
to.
it?
Yeah.
They made all of that. So the CIA was like, "How did you do that?" Like it legitimately fooled. Like I think it was the FBI. Brandon Herrera talked about it one time.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't
God,
hear
we
about
talk
that.
about Brendan Herrera a lot. Kind of fanboy him.
I'm a YouTube addict.
I mean, yeah. All right. So, where are you originally from then?
I'm from like the DC area. So
Like
up-
the DC area, so
I'm from
Virginia.
Virginia.
There you go.
I'm in the suburbs. The metro runs to my neighborhood-ish.
I lived in Fredericksburg for a while.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. Did you go to the school there?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, my ex-wife was she worked at the Pentagon for a while, so we used to live in Fredericksburg and then just take the train, which I absolutely love the train system there. Don't ever drive in DC. I don't think there's a GPS on the planet that correctly understands DC.
No.
It's horrific because there's so
I
many
spent
one-way
3 days in
roads.
DC, and yeah, I'll walk before I ride in a cab.
Yep.
I went to DC one time when I was like 10 or 11. I think it was like 10. I was like where I had my first beer because my mom's cousin worked there. I think he was still in the Air Force at the time. But yeah, I went to the Smithsonian and all that. I just remember it being very hot.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially when you get.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which I was kind of used to because I'm from Houston. So
it's that bay humid, so there's a smell to the air.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Or that could just be the city.
I mean, DC's kind of like. Yeah. All right. So, what do you do for a living?
For a living, yeah, I'm a contractor for the government.
Man, are we talking like contractor or like contractor?
Mostly software engineering, systems engineering type work. Yeah.
Nice. Have you ever thought about making your own game?
Making my own board game, absolutely.
I was just saying all this engineering stuff, and I was like,
Yeah, I know it doesn't quite fit with my personality, but it's one of those things where like my dad was like, I didn't go to college, so you're gonna go to college for something that'll get you a job.
Yes, there you go.
That's what happened, and I'm really thankful for it. Now in my free time, I can do things like this. So, yeah, I'd love to design my own game. At work, I run this thing called like Engineers Week that just passed. It's nationally recognized, and I did create an escape room for my work. So if you want, I might be able to do something like that here.
You can't leave unless you can pass her a little game.
Jigsaw face paint.
You're right. Yeah, there you go. Just come up on a little old school TV monitor. Want to play a game?
TV's in a cage.
We could totally do this.
4 o'clock. She just comes on. Want to leave work? You're like,
I would love that. Okay, this is so random. I went to a musical of the movie Saw recently.
Is it a musical?
Musical, yeah.
All right, I just learned something new.
You're
today.
right. Now I kind of want to go see a musical.
It was just two people, I'm pretty sure, that pulled this off, and then they were going on a tour, and they just stopped at random cities for a little while and set up shop. Did a whole musical for Saw.
All right. All right, you got me there because you said here's a little something a little random. I was like, what was the last 20 minutes? But but I think you win that. That's Saw the musical.
So the only musical I've
like
seen
this.
like that was like Repo the Genetic Opera.
Fever dream.
Have you ever saw that?
No.
Okay. You know Repo Man at all?
Yes, the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like that, but before that came out, I think it was
Repo the Genetic Opera?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, I am obsessed with that movie.
Okay, yeah.
No, I don't do musicals.
Oh,
At
I've
all.
seen that one in Phantom of the Opera, and that's the only two musicals I've really ever seen.
No.
I can't watch that with people their first time watching it.
Oh, really? Are you gonna sing the whole thing?
It is physically impossible for me to keep myself from singing the songs.
Well, it's like
I get down with some Roddy Largo.
it's like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I'm worse.
It's so hard not to like.
I can resist the temptation with most of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, other than Sweet Transvestite.
Yes.
But I can't stop myself with Repo. Oh, it's so
This is terrible. The one movie I cannot shut up during ever, the original 1980s Transformers the movie. I know every single word of that entire movie. That was my childhood. That is still, to me, one of the greatest movies ever. And that's why I hate all the new Transformers movies, because they destroyed the story. Absolutely just... They went away. It's like nobody ever read any of the comic books. They're like, let's make this cool movie about these robots. And like nobody knows the real story behind it. All the Michael Bay movies, every one of them, I want to set them all on fire. Because they went completely away from a beautiful, beautiful story.
His AI.
Gotcha.
Transformers is my thing. I mean, I used to own, at one point I had 136 of the toys. From the gigantic, Metroplex, Omega Supreme, Unicron, all the way down to the itty bitty little ones like Cliff Jumper, and I mean I can name every Transformer, Soundwave, Shock, all of the Shockwave, all of those guys, and then to see what they bastardize in my adult years, it hurts my feelings. Like I really wish they'd come back and redo the original. They had a great story.
Childhood.
They had a great story. I don't understand why they went so completely off course. And I'm like, you had a great. All you had to do was keep following it.
So I will say, as someone who didn't grow up with the original, I caught the original movie, but I grew up with the different random series they came out with after that.
Yeah.
And as someone who didn't grow up with it, the movies were fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that they took something old and they modernized it for the current audience.
I get that, but I mean, they had a great story. They didn't need to change the story. If they'd have used all the cinematics and everything that they're doing,
that is where they mess up with it, because instead of they could have worked up to that.
Yes.
Started at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because to make that work, they'd have had to get the new generation into it, so they had to tell the same story with the same.
But if you did it with all the
everything.
new shiny technology, the movies themselves, if you didn't know the Transformers
They
story,
wanted the quick cash in.
yes, they're great movies. If you didn't understand the real story of the Transformers,
Yeah.
I'm saying real as if they actually, but if you took, but if anybody
all
had,
accurate.
if they'd have flipped through the
Are
comic
the
books,
Decepticons in the room with us, Steven?
right? But all of this new crap is is completely bastardized. Nowhere in there. It's like saying, the Star Wars stuff when you're saying something's not canon.
Yeah.
Nothing in any of these new movies is canon.
It's not canon
at all. None whatsoever. And that's what kills me about it. If you wanted to be,
You know what? I will say this. They did not do Transformers as dirty as they did Aragon.
you're absolutely right. But also, those weren't like 40-year-old stories.
True.
Those were books.
That kind of makes it worse. They were fresh.
Exactly. That's very true. I think Aragon should have been like a 5 or 6 part movie series. You
Well,
could have easily done that.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great story.
Miniseries.
Ender's Game. It was kind of close, but nowhere near as good as a book. Movies and books, comparing those is like apples and oranges, though, because people always ruin a good book with a movie.
I'd say one of the closest things would be The Expanse.
Yeah?
Yeah, because especially one of the, I know it's especially for a sci-fi show, sci-fi channel show, it blew like kind of all the other ones out the water,
Yeah.
except for like SG-1, but I don't know if there's any.
Yeah, if there's actual like books or stories.
I don't think
about
there was
that.
for that one, but my
I
wife's
feel like
reading the
there
books.
is a
And
book.
A book.
Yeah.
They kind of
for
spun
Stargate?
that off.
Yeah, I think there's a
Okay.
book that spawned the movie, and then they later decided to do the show.
yeah, you mean with Kurt Russell?
I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
Okay, and if we're gonna go down that road, World of Warcraft, I thought the movie was great because I played the games for
Yeah.
years until I grew up.
There's always going to be stuff you have to change from book to movie,
But-
but you can still keep the feeling.
What
accurate.
kills me about that is that they nailed that, and audiences loved it. All of the people,
And they're not doing anything with it.
no more. No, they could easily do 4 or 5. Every expansion of the game could be an expansion movie,
Yeah.
and they could milk the crap out. If you want to beat a dead horse, that one I'd watch all day.
Yeah.
If you made 5 or 6 movies based upon the expansions, you could. But they just like killed that. They just left it off in this. And I'm like, there's your good
Oh.
storyline.
Oh, hey, everybody loved this. It made money. We don't need to do anything with
Yeah,
that.
no. Instead, let's go bastardize.
They're
what
keeping it
is
in their back pockets for the next time subscriptions dip.
right? All right. So what's your favorite genre? Like,
Oh, I like sci-fi. Do you guys see Project Hail Mary? Just came out this month.
I've been
I'm
hearing
waiting.
about
I
it.
gotta wait for
kinda
it to
want
come out because I don't go to movie theaters.
Oh,
Crowds
okay.
fuck me up. So I'm
Yeah.
waiting for it to come out. But I've been watching the previews for it, and I really, really want to see it. Like that is on my update as soon as it gets released.
As soon as it
yes.
gets out, you have to.
Yes.
Yes.
And I thought it was really cool that the Artemis 2 crew gave a little nod to it. That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything sci-fi, anything space, totally up my alley.
Gotcha.
It's like they've ruined the Predator movies, the Aliens versus Predators. Like some of those
Yeah.
were really good,
And that
then
one's
they've
got
just
some good lore.
yeah,
Ooh,
but they
ooh.
went way off on that too.
We want to talk about upcoming shows and sci-fi. The Warhammer series that's
Yes,
coming out.
yes.
Yeah.
Mark
Thank you.
Hamill.
Hey,
Thankfully, he has got enough
Nerd
name.
God Mark Hamill.
Yes, he has
Praise be
enough.
his
He has
name.
enough clout and enough. Everybody knowing him. He's got enough image that when he said we're going to stick to real lore, we're going to stick to the story.
Last I heard, they're doing the Horus Heresy. That would be a baller move if he made himself
Yeah.
Horus.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's
yeah, it would be.
thankfully
Right?
he has enough sway that he was like, we're gonna stick to the story because they immediately tried to just destroy the story, and he's like, I will not be a part of this.
Yeah.
if you do that, and they were like, okay,
Yeah.
we'll keep it to the story. So I'm super excited
And
to
finally,
see that.
they didn't want to play ball with him, and now it's canceled now, isn't it? Witcher.
The
The Witcher, yeah.
no.
That one, yeah, because he got pissed about that too. That's what I love, though, that he is. It's not about let's just cash this
butchered
in.
the fucking Witcher. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Even the first season was like, there's a bunch of stuff that was cool about it, and I was like, all right, cool, yeah, that happened, that happened.
I mean, the fight choreography.
sure, yeah. There wasn't really too much that.
That's something Mark Hamill's definitely got.
Yes. Oh no, they showed like him and Batista training constantly
Yeah.
to be able to make sure that the movie was going to be done correctly, that everything was going to look good. He refused to back down. And Batista, like when he asked him how often he trained and how often he worked out, and when Mark Hamill told him like 3 or 4 hours a day, he's like, well, shit, I got to start. Because he was only doing like half an hour to an hour. And so he stepped it up because he's like, there's no way this movie's going to look one-sided.
Yeah.
So he stepped it up to match him, and I'm like, that's what I like to see. You know, something like that.
But the Warhammer. Oh.
Yeah.
I do have to say, thank you, by the way, for inducting me into this new cult.
I'm sorry about your new addiction.
Yeah.
Cocaine. Oh no, sorry. Wrong one.
No, like the Warhammer, the Horus Heresy, 54 books.
Yes.
$10 a pop.
Yeah, there was too many books that didn't even fit on the inside cover of the first one I got. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, or when that one was printed, the others hadn't come out yet.
Oh, yeah.
You got to think, the Horus Heresy books, I think they came out over a period of like 15, 20 years.
I do know, like, I think it is cool because there are like 12, 13, 15 different authors.
Yeah. And they're given a guidebook that they to go by, and if it's not in the guidebook and it fits within canon, you can do it.
Yeah.
It's too much heresy.
If you can make it fit within the canon, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just figured out what a Titan War Machine was the other last night. And I looked that up. I was like, Jesus, what the fuck?
And the Imperator.
See,
Yeah.
look what you did. It's all your fault somehow.
Oh, yeah. Somehow.
Yeah. So I think that's where we're gonna have to go ahead and stop this episode.
Artillery shell Gatling gun.
Scary things.
Just whatever weapons you see, just make it bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Chrissy, for coming on here. Hopefully you're gonna be okay after this. Yeah.
Oh, we have events to plan now.
I know. Oh, we definitely no. Seriously, I've got a couple ideas spinning up, and we need to make this happen. So thank you very much for coming on the show. Absolutely. Everybody, check her out. We're gonna have you're on Facebook, right? Okay, we're gonna link all of your stuff, your social media, onto the bottom down below in the description. So everybody, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow, and check out Chrissy and Cosmo Event Gaming. Remember, don't just do it.
Wackadoo it.